Right guys, we have some huge Need for Speed 2019 news to talk about. And yes, I didn't think I was going to be making a video like this so early. We're still in December. You know, if anything's going to be announced, it's probably going to be announced at E3 like it is every second year a Need for Speed game has come out in the past few years. Obviously, Need for Speed games had an annual life cycle up until, I think, Rivals, and then they went to a 2-year development cycle. So if everything's on track and, you know, if history is to repeat itself, a game should be announced at E3. But in December, we already have some information which popped up on the Need for Speed Reddit. So we're going to go ahead and just talk about that today and what this means for Need for Speed 2019 and Need for Speed going forward. And this big shocking piece of information is that Marcus Neilson, the founder of Ghost Games, has left the studio. So how do people know this? Well, essentially on Marcus's LinkedIn, he is now apparently self-employed. Obviously over there on his LinkedIn, it says that he left Ghost Games in 2018. November of 2018 to be more specific. This is a huge little bit of information really because, well, Marcus up until this point, he was the head of Ghost. He was the one that was making all the shots, and he was the one that, you know, was kind of eventually really giving the green light or red light on you know, what things go through. Now, we don't know really what internally this could mean for Ghost because obviously anyone could take his spot. In the end of the day, the creative and the founder of Ghost has left, and that leaves Need for Speed either in a very tricky position or in a position that they've already taken care of. It does say a lot though about Payback, if you ask me. You know, if you know, the creator of Ghost Games itself left after Payback, I think that says a lot about the game. I don't know, I can't see a reason why as a developer you'd leave if you really thought the game was good, type thing, you know, like it just says a lot about Payback and where Need for Speed is right now, and hopefully we aren't the only ones, you know, that see this. There's a bit more to this article which we're going to go ahead and talk about now, because there's a few little juicy pieces of information which I also want to discuss in this video. So I believe in one of the kind of references, I guess, that is in this LinkedIn profile, this little paragraph is given by a bloke called Daniel Roy, and I think this relates to Payback and kind of relates to what I'm saying about, you know, how they feel with the game. I work closely with the narrative director to create the world, story and characters of Payback. While the game is not a critical success, and then in brackets, the game lost a lot of goodwill because of the loot boxes, which in turn impacted the perception of the story. I'm proud of the hard work we accomplished in challenging circumstances. This to me kind of just says, like, that's a little bit in denial, really, because the story wasn't anything to do with the loot boxes. Like, the loot boxes is a completely different situation. The reason the story was trash was because the story was trash. What characters? Like, if I have to hear Jess, yeah, talk about a burger one more fucking time. No, it was trash. What are you talking about? And then with Marcus leaving, it kind of like, it goes like hand in hand. It's like, what's going on with, like, it makes sense now why Payback was such a mess, because clearly the people behind the games were also just completely off their head. It's mad that you can even think that Payback even remotely had good characters. They were all trash. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, maybe I'm hyperbolating a bit, but the kind of overall message I'm trying to send is a pretty self-explanatory one. Now, I guess the overarching thing isn't actually really, you know, to do with Marcus and him leaving. It's kind of where the series is going forward now. So Marcus has left, that's the thing. It says November 2018, so if that is like last month, that's not actually that long away if you think about it. The question really goes to what happens with Need for Speed now. Obviously those creative director roles are going to open up. Again, I'm not sure how development is now, but I can only assume that December, like, you've got to be a fair bit into development. How is the development team going to handle these changes maybe so late on into its development, like what, another year? And who's going to take his, you know, role? You know, obviously he was the curator of Ghost, he was the head man over there. Who's going to go ahead and take over his role and bring us the next Need for Speed game? And what type of take is it going to be of a Need for Speed game? Because naturally when the vision changes for a game, you know, the game could be different. And that's something which I think I'm kind of excited but very worried for as well. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on for too much longer. That is the first little bit in Need for Speed 2019 news I feel like we've had. It's one of those things, I think this is worth reporting on because this is going to be a really big thing for the game going forward. I think making everyone aware of it is very important because of the nature of how big this is. Anyway, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed, if you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and peace.